win the FLW Cup would just be a life-changing event.
There we go. Feels like a big. That's the one I need. Got it. That's how you start your morning. Ah! Yes! Boom! That's her, Bubba. Yeah! Yes! This is what dreams are made of right there.
This tournament, the way it's set up, you have to fish your heart out. I mean, it's almost like blood, sweat, and tears, literally.
This place, the weights aren't huge here, but there's giant ones that are swimming around.
There's a lot of fish out there, but you have to wait till one gets in the right mood.
It's crazy, a year's done gone by already. We're back here at the Forrest Cup, but I'd love to be, the first person to win this tournament twice, and it's pretty cool. Right here at Blast Off, it starts to get real. That it's definitely go time.
Welcome everyone to the biggest tournament in bass fishing. I'm talking about the FLW Cup. I'm Travis Moran alongside Rob Newell. It is day one here on Lake Ouachita, and things are really about to get heated up right now.
Yeah, just so much history on this lake and the Forrest Cup here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. You look back at some of the past winners. Scott Suggs won the first $1 million tournament here in 2007. You have Scott Martin, one of the most famous fishermen in America now. He's won a Forrest Cup here. Brad Knight was our most recent winner. Such a cool place, such a puzzling place, especially in August. Ouachita's a big mystery, and so's the month of August. But if you want to win that $300,000, you better prove that you're worthy of it.
It's gonna be a grind, but I've got a game plan, and that's all that matters. You just gotta follow your game plan and make adjustments when needed. That is the game plan.
There's no better place for a championship tournament, Rob. You have so much diversity that this lake has to offer, from grass. You got that milfoil, the different things that these anglers can punch, but then you've got standing timber, brush piles, rocky points, ledges, whatever their strength is, they're gonna be able to find it here.
Guys, come here and use the word overwhelming to describe this lake because there's so many options, and that's what gets in some of these guys' heads. You see some of these top iconic names. Mark Rose that wants to stick with fishing deep. Scott Martin that wants to stick with schooling. It's hard to do with so many options and so many other things running through your head. This lake is always pulling at you, saying, maybe they're biting this or maybe they're doing that.
It's exciting. Getting ready to go try to catch them.
Practice time is over, Rob. It's time to put in the game plans and blast off as these anglers get ready to head out on the water for day one.
300 grand on the line today. 300 grand.
Last year we were running herring fish and calling them up out of cane piles, but it was still an offshore deal. I use my electronics to find the fish, and same thing's applying here. In August, fishing on the bank's so tough, and I'm probably gonna do it some today. But we don't have a lot of wolf packing going on. It's a lot of singles, and they're hard to catch. And I just felt like my best opportunity to win this tournament was to get off the bank.
Guy that has cup momentum, so to speak, Justin Atkins. This is only his second cup appearance. Last year being his rookie season, he actually won the FLW Cup.
Justin Atkins actually has a very rare opportunity here this week, not only to be a two-time Forrest Cup champion, but he could possibly be a back-to-back Forrest Cup champion if he could win here this week.
God, 4-pounder. Should let him go down.
4-pounder?
Mm-hmm. That was so stupid.
And here's another angler that's had a strong 2018 season. Former Rookie of the Year, Zach Burge, looking for his first FLW Cup victory here this weekend.
There he is, boy. That's a good one.
I'm starting on a schooling area, and I thought I could go in there and catch 7, 8 pounds and be comfortable and set myself in a good position to maybe get a bite or two the rest of the day in a bigger fish area, fishing on the bank, covering a lot of water. But it was so foggy I couldn't see them. I could hear some busting, but I couldn't tell where they were other than Oh, I heard one way back over here behind me, but I don't know where it's at.
Stay on, baby.
Zach Burge hails from Oklahoma. He's really good on these Ozark-style lakes, has a good track record in this part of the country. Won the Coastal Championship several years ago, proven closer. For such a young man, this guy has the potential to really show what he's made of this week.
That's how you start your morning. Catching bonus fish.
Here's a look at our most consistent angler of the 2018 season, earning him the Pennzoil Marine Angler of the Year. And of course, I'm talking about Mark Rose.
You know, Mark Rose, his strength is offshore, man. He is an absolute expert when it comes to fishing offshore, schools, ledges, any kind of breaks. And no surprise to find out that when you come to the biggest tournament of the year, you better be fishing your strengths. That's why Mark Rose will be starting offshore.
This place has got some fish in it. It's just they're not set up, you know, down where you can crank them and Carolina rig them and stuff like that. They're like up, floating, chasing bait. We don't want that. We want them to get down where we can crank them. You have to do one of two things. You have to fish for 5 kamikazes up there shallow that are up there feeding, and you got to cover a lot of water to do that. Or you can fish your strength, and you know, my strength is offshore fishing, ledge type fishing, and that's what I chose to do. Ouachita is a lake that's very deep. It's got lots of habitat out in the deepest part of the lake, a lot of cedars, a lot of timber, all that kind of stuff. And that's where the biggest majority of these fish live in the hot summertime. That water's cooler down there. And that's just where they go, and they kind of float, suspend, and in the tops of those trees. And if you're just fishing, you know, where the biggest populations of fish are, it's a slow and steady approach.
And Nick LeBrun, it's our current unofficial leader.
He's in the event because he's the All-American winner. I know of at least one. Jacob Wheeler was an All-American winner and then won the Cup.
I really like this pattern of throwing this big worm because it's a way that I've got confidence in catching the right kind of fish. I told my friends and family, you know, if I do well up here, it won't be on a drop shot out deep, and it won't be throwing a topwater bait around the bank, you know, burning up bank. That's just not what I do. Now, I may weigh in a fish or two doing that stuff, but I really tried to come up with patterns that I believed in and that I have confidence in, and that way I can just kind of stick to my guns and fish to win. The main thing with me was just finding a few areas to get confidence in and not letting the size of the lake just overwhelm me. I wanted to find one little area to kind of live in. And when I say area, I mean a 5-mile portion of the lake. It's summertime, water's in the mid-80s, fish are not wanting to really move around a lot. Some fish are shallow, some fish are deep, and it's a grind, but those are the kind of tournaments that I like.
The surprise of the day here has been Nick LeBrun, who got off to a nice start shallow this morning with 2 or 3, well, about a 4-pounder and a 3-pounder. He took a really good start and he capitalized on it, and that's what winning the Cup's all about.
And now over to Scott Martin. He's a favorite no matter where we go in the country, but on Lake Ouachita in particular, he is definitely one of the top 5 guys I have picked to win this event because he actually won the Cup event back in 2011.
I hadn't fished this pocket, but it looks right. If he's there, he's gonna bite. See that little patch of grass? I need to make a good cast in there.
Scott has a rare opportunity here to be the first FLW Cup 2-time winner. Never happened before in the history, and Scott can do it all on this lake.
Got him.
I see Scott got him one of those shallow topwater fish.
We have some family heritage here in this region. My grandmother was born on the shores of Lake Ouachita and grew up in the town of Mount Ida. I remember my dad and I going out and catching them on a bone-colored popper when I was like 12 years old. You know, so there's a lot of my first memories on a lake happened here on Lake Ouachita.
That one helps right there.
That right there. We'll get 5 of these to bite. We'll be all right. That's a good one. I saw that one in practice.
Scott Martin trying to solve the puzzle, and day 1 of the biggest event of the year is in the books. Alex Davis lands atop the leaderboard thanks to a late afternoon bite similar to what Zach Burge and Nick LeBrun both experienced. The defending Cup champion Justin Atkins holds the 10th spot, and as we get ready for the second day of competition, that spot will become more important because you have to survive to day 3 if you want to hold up the most legendary trophy in bass fishing, the Forrest Wood Cup Trophy.
The FLW Tour is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. TH Marine, from transom to trolling motor. YETI, built for the wild. General Tire, anywhere is possible. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. And by BRP EVINRUDE. Learn more at evinrude.com.
Welcome to day 2 of the 2018 FLW Cup. 56 anglers are going to start this morning, but only 10 are going to move on to fish the third and final day tomorrow. Rob, the anglers had a tough time yesterday. It was a grind even to get a limit. Are we expecting more of the same thing?
Yeah, Travis, this is going to go down as one of the most challenging Forrest Wood Cups in history. We're looking at some really low weights, like record low weights here.
So 10 minutes left, I was running back in. I had like 5 minutes to fish, so I pulled into a pocket, and my last cast of the day, I caught the biggest one I caught all day.
The weights are so tight, what it boils down to is the big fish. If you get a 4+ pounder, I mean, that's just going to make your day.
Only 9 guys caught more than 10 pounds yesterday. The thing about that is there's still $300,000 on the line, and after day 2, it's going to come down to the wire in terms of who gets this thing done.
Well, it's time to find out how day 2 really plays out as these anglers head out onto the water.
The last day of practice, I looked down right here, and it was like 15 pounds swimming. And then around the corner, there's a little pocket, and I had a 3-pounder get it, and I didn't have hooks. And when he spit it loose, another 3-pounder got it, and when he spit it loose, 5 of them was fighting over it all of a sudden. The faith in the topwater, just it's so tough to get a bite. I mean, like I was surprised when I was weighing in all the 5-fish limits. Like it literally surprised me, just because I know how tough this place has been. It ain't been easy.
So right here is the area I started yesterday, and I think there's a few more what I call bonus fish in here. It's just a matter of getting them to bite and getting them in the boat. Believe it or not, this is on Lake Ouachita. When I found this in practice, I was like, whoa, I'm on a different lake, but this has pads like I have back home that are real thick and real healthy, and there we go, there's one. Didn't eat it, just kind of reacted at it. Man, it can be aggravating because you know it's just a good one laid up, just sitting there, but how do you get it to bite, you know?
This area that I'm fishing here really reminds me a lot of my home lake, Lake Fork, because of all the timber in it. And then there's a little bit of anacharis, which is basically like an aquarium weed. And then there's just the presence of life in this area that I'm not seeing in a whole lot of other areas in the lake. You can fish a lot of areas and really just not see the same amount of life.
James Nagemeyer moved from California to Texas years ago, has had success fishing in some other circuits, and now starring in his first FLW Cup.
James is kind of going old school, just keeping the buzzbait in his hand most of the day. But what he's looking for out here is signs of life. Any little brim or shad that get around his buzzbait and try and peck and hit at it, that's a sign to him that the bigger bass are around.
See, there's some bluegill pulling down on it and some baby bass pulling down on my buzzbait. I think that's really key. I feel like whenever I get a bite, it's usually in and around. There we go. He was just talking about that. Yes. Oh, look at that, just ate it. I was just talking about the key. It was just,
just talking about the key of having those bluegill and the baby bass pulling on my buzzbait, and bam, got a good one. That's a way to start the day.
It's been a common sight seeing Canadian names on the top of the field throughout the season, and this tournament's going to be no exception as Corey Johnston starts the morning in 4th place.
Corey's been running the shallows with a top water on that brim bed pattern. Worked really good for him yesterday. Now he's going to have a little bit of a struggle decision to make in terms of, do you go back and repeat old water from yesterday, or do you go to new water today?
We're fishing this pocket. It's got a little bit more grass in it. This was my starting area yesterday. Just seems like there's a lot of bait fish, a lot of small bass, and I was seeing a ton of, not a ton, but I've probably seen 10 or 12 2 to 4 pound bass in here in practice, just going down the bank. First thing I think about when, you know, you got a shot to win the Forrest Wood Cup, it's just a title that I'd love to have. I don't think there's ever been a Canadian to win the Forrest Wood Cup. I don't even know how many Canadians have been in the top 10 in a Forrest Wood Cup. So to be the first Canadian to win it would be pretty cool. There we go. Number 1. Ain't a big one, but I am glad to have them, I'll tell you that. Skinny these things are.
Making his first FLW Cup appearance and starting the morning in the #1 slot, Alex Davis.
Yeah, those that have followed Alex Davis's career, he used to be called the spinnerbait kid, and now he's all grown up into a full-time professional angler. Finds himself leading the Forrest Wood Cup, 13 pounds, 10 ounces. He goes out today looking for grass on Lake Ouachita that looks like grass back home at Lake Guntersville.
It's a bad state of affairs when you're leading after day 1, you're still trying to figure things out.
I don't think whoever wins is gonna do one thing all day. They may, but I just think you had to mix it up a little bit. So I kept trying to mix it up, just getting a clue. I mean, if you can ever get a clue, then you can, you know, keep running that kind of stuff.
Oh, goodness. He hit it, immediately went to the other side of the log, then hung himself, flopping. He's just flopping upside down. Whew. That was kind of amazing.
Alex Davis hoping for some more amazing here on the 2nd day of the Cup, the grandest event of the FLW Tour. Beautiful Lake Ouachita is proving to be a worthy venue for the top 56 anglers in the world, and there's more to come as the 2nd day rolls on.
There he is. Spotted bass. It's a keeper, we'll take it.
Look at that. Woo-hoo. We're fixing to just go fishing, because what worked yesterday is not working today.
Welcome back, everyone. Day 2 is underway, and we're seeing quite a few different tactics play out as these different anglers try to put one fish at a time in their live wells. We've had some movement here.
Wes Logan, who climbed the late leaderboard this morning, he's throwing top water as well this morning.
James Niggemeyer really executing a plan. You know, he's steady, he's confident that he's doing the right things, and he's okay with it just being kind of random. He's just gonna make enough casts in enough places, and the fish that he does catch keep turning out to be the right ones.
So far, James is the one showing off the shallow water brim bed pattern the best today.
It's almost anti-productive to try to put a pattern on it. By the time you think, well, it fits this, that, you catch one that doesn't fit the mold. And so you got to keep that open mind on where they might be, and it just tells me the fish are moving quite a bit.
I knew there was going to be the potential for a deep bite and a shallow bite. And I knew that whatever I did, it was going to be tough. There was going to be periods where you weren't going to catch anything. And I know that my strong suit, or my wheelhouse per se, is shallow fishing. Just fishing shallow, and shallow power fishing in particular. That's what I really like to do. So I chose the shallow pattern, and
it's actually working out pretty good.
Yes. Woo. Oh, man. Oh, man. Thank you, Lord.
We're over halfway through the day here, and guys like Nick LeBrun, who had a great start yesterday, are struggling quite a bit. He's only got one fish in the live well.
Yeah, LeBrun is fresh off an All-American win just a couple of months ago. He's got a lot of momentum on his side. He's targeting the bigger bass down in the main basin of the lake. That's where those 3 to 4 to 5 pounders are growing. Man, if he just gets 1 or 2 of those things in the boat in the next couple days, he's going to be hard to beat.
That's some good ones right there. Man, they didn't stay up long. That's the right size right there, though, if I can get to them. I was fishing a grass hump, a place that I normally flip and drop the grass, and something told me to put on some kind of top water. So I put on a whopper plopper. That big one came up chasing shad, and it was a little bit out of range, and I kicked the trolling motor on high, and I trolled about 10, 15 yards, and I fired at it, and she just come up and smoked it.
They came up breaking out there.
And look at the size of that fish, Rob.
Yes, sir. Finally, somebody gets a break today.
Ah!
Apparently he was fishing there, and they came up breaking. He could see them and threw a top water over there, and that big one came up and busted. And, man, that right there saves LeBrun's day. Even if he catches no more, he's still,
that's for you, Pop,
in my opinion, going to be in the top 10 and get to play for the win.
Already fishing in his third FLW Cup at only 27 years old, Zach Burge has really made a name for himself.
Everything went Zach's way yesterday. For day 1 of the Forrest Wood Cup, he had a perfect day. Caught some big ones in the afternoon. He needs to repeat that.
It just hasn't happened yet. I really needed a few of them bonus fish this morning, them schoolers, to really set me for that pace of only getting 2 or 3 bites a day. Tournaments like this are ones where it can still happen in a short period of time. You just got to keep running, keep fishing water, and all of a sudden you'll come into a pocket and there'll be 3 or 4 up there that have pulled up to eat, and you can catch them real quick, and then you're right back in the game. We ain't going in with nothing. Oh, Lord. 1.
Day 2, it is moving day as we are headed towards Championship Sunday. $300,000 first place prize on the line.
Fascinating to think tomorrow somebody's life is going to change right here on this stage.
Let's get the day 2 weigh-in started. 8 pounds, 11 ounces, John Cox. New leader, 10 pounds, 3 ounces, Clint Davis. 9 pounds, 8 ounces. You're in 8th place. As of now, you're in. He's got 4 today. James Negemeyer, 8 pounds, 12 ounces, moves you into 2nd place.
I really feel like the potential is absolutely there. It's just a question of going out there and making them bite.
Nick LeBrun, 9 pounds and 6 ounces. Wow!
I've done my homework. I know what to throw, and I've got the good partners and the good family behind me, and that's all you can do. Is
Hey, Wes Logan from Springville, Alabama wants to be part. 12 pounds and 4 ounces. You got the lead.
Had a pretty good day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully I can actually catch a bass tomorrow. I'm not even sure if I can.
Brandon Cobb, he's our big mover. He moved in from 17th place to get into the cut, all the way up to 8th place right here, and that's what's earned him the spot, the EVINRUDE big mover right there.
And his 4th top 10 and his 4th Forrest Wood Cup.
It's not if he's going to win one of these cups one day. He will be a cup champion.
Wes Logan takes a small lead into the final day, but the weights are so tight that anyone in the top 10 truly feels they have a shot at victory. Our final day coverage of the 2018 FLW Cup is on the other side of this next break. Don't go anywhere.
To make the Forrest Wood Cup is just huge, and
to try to capitalize on the opportunity that we have here today is really something we're all striving for. Every one of these guys, all top 10 of us, we're all gunning for it. It's just a blessing to be here, and I'm thankful for it.
Making the final day of the Forrest Wood Cup, that was my main goal, was just make the cut. Now that I've done that and kind of checked that off the list, I feel like I'm a man with nothing to lose, and that's how I'm going to fish today. It's kind of maybe gamble a little bit more, swing for the fences a little bit more, and focus on getting the right 5 bites.
You know, it's a great feeling to be out here leading the final day. I got a bunch of great guys behind me, awesome anglers, best in the world. We're going to have to catch them today to win this thing, and maybe we can.
It's Championship Sunday, the 3rd and final day here on Lake Ouachita, and only 10 anglers are left to battle it out to see who's going to be crowned the 2018 FLW champion. Rob, day 1, tough conditions. Day 2, another complete grind. Day 3, we have cut the field down to only 10 anglers. They've had now some time to look at each one of these days, what little patterns there are. What can we expect to see?
Travis, it's been 2 days where nothing very spectacular has happened, okay? The first day, Alex Davis had a really good, solid day in a Forrest Wood Cup, okay? He was the leader. Day 2, Wes Logan took over the lead. Once again, you know, a good, solid effort, but nothing real magical like what you expect out of a championship event. It's now day 3. Travis, we are due for something very special to happen in this tournament.
Well, Rob, we're about to find out as these anglers get ready to blast off for the last day of the biggest payday in bass fishing.
Forrest Wood Cup, baby, let's get it going.
These fish have been moving around a lot on this spot. That's why you'll see me troll around a lot and look for them, because sometimes they're right up on top and some bait will come by and they'll come up and bust and chase it, and then they'll be off down there. And if you're sitting still fishing for them, your percentages aren't real high that you're casting around them much.
No angler has ever won 2 FLW Cups. And if Justin Atkins gets the victory today, not only will he be the first angler ever in FLW history to do so, he will have done it in back-to-back years.
Atkins has a very clear path in his mind to victory here, and that is 10 pounds a day. Give me 10 pounds a day, and I'll take my chances on taking home that cup.
Feels like a big one.
Weights are really close, and today was going to be a little cloudy. The weather was going to be different. It's been all week, so I really wanted to go capitalize on my deep bite, try to get my 8 or 9 pounds that I've consistently caught every day, and then go run the bank and try to hunt a big one or 2 up.
Wow.
That's a nice one.
Wow, Rob.
Yeah.
John, that's a good start. I'll definitely take 5 like that to get the day started.
That's a good start,
That is
is
a
right.
great start for our defending Cup champion right now. About the strategies, now that's going to bring us to the General Tire roadmap to victory. Rob, why don't you break down what it's going to take here?
Flawless execution. This is tournament. I mean, like last year when we saw that big slugfest going on, you have room for error in a slugfest. We saw even the Cup champion, Justin Atkins last year, miss a fish or 2 come off. You can do that when you're waylaying 18 to 20 pounds with no problem. But in these derbies, you cannot let an opportunity get by you. So you got to have flawless execution. After that, don't overthink anything. Don't try and put too much of a pattern together, or you'll start chasing rabbits down rabbit holes and get off the track. And finally, the miracle bite. That one moment of magic that happens, the opportunity arises, and you are there to capitalize on that very rare opportunity. There you go. That's what needs to happen today.
When anglers talk strategy to winning an FLW Cup, the first thing they talk about is making it to the final day, making that top 10 cut. And nobody cut it closer than Clint Davis barely squeaking in at the 10th spot.
He got in by 1 ounce, Travis, 1 ounce. And now he starts today 5 pounds back.
I was ecstatic. I knew, I said it on stage, I just want 1 more day, because I lost more fish in the first 2 days of this tournament than I've ever lost in one. Like, I didn't even deserve to be in the top 10. I guess it was going well enough to barely squeak in. It was just meant to be to make that top 10 and have redemption for 1 more day.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yep.
Yes, Do you think he knows how important that fish is, Rob?
Clint Davis started this day in 10th place.
Barely made it. He barely made the final day.
And you'll hear us say over and over again, the guy in 10th place has a chance to win today. And it's, you know, after a while it sounds cliche. Anybody can win in the top 10 today. This could be one of those days where that finally happens.
More Cup action from Lake Ouachita when we return.
I think we might have our first keeper.
That's 3, and that ain't the kind we need.
There's one of you right there. Unless they busting today, I'm gonna make a few extra dollars.
Well, this place is tougher than bark on a tree. I'm just gonna go and tell you.
Things have heated up here on Championship Sunday, Lake Ouachita.
And Wes Logan went into this final day of the FLW Cup in first place, still does not have a single fish.
Jason Lambert has worked his way up the leaderboard.
Yes, Lambert has proven he's a winner in slugfest events. And at the Cup this year, he's proven he's pretty good at grindfest events too.
I feel like I need to get to at least 10 or 11 pounds to even have a chance. And I think I got a better chance of catching a good one up here. So found 2 key areas that I've caught the majority of my fish off of the first 2 days. I've mixed in some shallow stuff. I caught my best fish day 1 and day 2 up shallow on top water. But I can't catch 5 up there, but I can seem to catch 1 or 2 up there. So I need a back bite, and there we go. That's the one I need. 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 Boom! Never been so excited over a 2 1/4 pounder. And you'd think I just won the Cup. If we can get a couple more of them kind of bites, we got a real shot at this thing.
James Negemeyer starting the morning in 3rd place and has really stuck to his game plan the last 2 days of just grinding it out.
He's on track. He's got a lot of experience, fishing experience in his past. He knows what he needs to do to stay on track to win this thing.
You've got to aim for those, to catch those big ones. And really for me, the buzzbait has been it. Just to keep myself in the hunt, keep myself where I feel like when I do catch a fish, it's gonna be the right kind.
James Negemeyer being positive. I mean, that has been his message through this, having fun, and he's really lived that because he had the chance to be really frustrated. He shook it off, and then he came right back.
Yes. If you can find a pack more than 2, you can get in a 4 or 5, your chances of getting the bite goes way up. They compete with each other. I'd say that puts James back on track to win this thing.
Another great story in the making is from Nick LeBrun. He's got the shot today to do something no other angler has done.
Nick is your 2018 All-American winner, and now he has a chance to make history to now go ahead and win the FLW Cup.
This morning, my school fish didn't fire, and the ones that did were finicky. So I came here, and I'm gonna commit to this grass for a little while because I know doing this, I mean, if you get 5 bites, it's gonna be the fish to win. You're never out of it, and you always have a chance, and you can't get spun out. You gotta keep your mind right. My main goal was to make the cut. This is my first Cup ever. Had some momentum from the All-American, and I said, hey, if I can just make the cut, that'll be a big win for me and my family. I feel like I'm a man with nothing to lose and try to make it a little charge. Not a big fish, but that is a huge momentum builder.
I knew beating these guys, I had to do my strength, and my strength is definitely offshore. And if there's brush involved, that makes me, to myself, a little bit stronger.
Clint Davis, he said he has over 1,000 brush piles marked in his unit. Obviously can't fish all those, but brush pile to brush pile to brush pile, and that's pretty much been his game, and wow, this could get crazy.
Get in here. That's a good one, dude. That's a digger. Hang on, baby. Hang on, baby.
Number 5.
This is number 5 on the line.
We talk about it all the time. It's anybody's ball game. The guy in 10th can win.
Woo! Finally one on the old swimmer. What are you doing, big girl?
he made it in the top 10 by 1 ounce.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start culling. That's a new thing for me.
I think he's on pace for the biggest limit of the tournament, nearly 15 pounds. So even at 14, he's got the biggest, and that's the goal, right? I mean, you want to come in with the biggest bag on last day.
The FLW Tour is brought to you by REALTREE Fishing, the official pattern of FLW. LOWRANCE HDS Carbon. Find, navigate, dominate with LOWRANCE. Costa Del Mar. See what's out there. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Polaris, the world leader in off-road vehicles. And by Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
It's normally not a good sign when you're leading the tournament and the only boat following you is the marshal boat.
Got like 8 pounds. We really need that one kicker fish, and to win this thing, I'm gonna need a couple of them. So
You gotta fish 20 miles of bank line to get one bite.
I don't know. 13 inches, one good bite, you know, 2.5, 3.5 pounder, put me right back in this thing.
You just got to keep fishing, and it's so hard, dude, when it's this hot and this tough to not losing focus.
God. No! Dude.
Oops. Welcome back, everyone. Lake Ouachita and an amazing championship Sunday so far. Clint Davis really bringing in some big fish, but quite a few anglers still in this event.
Justin has said all along, just give me 9 or 10 pounds a day. I mean, he understands how tough this thing is, and just give me the 9 or 10 pounds a day, and we'll see where we end up at the end of this whole thing.
Must be a gar. That's not. Stay hooked up, baby. God almighty. I've lost one every day. Every day, man. Should have won this tournament. I gave it away.
James Nagemeyer staying in things. We saw him lose one, and he stayed with it, kept his head down, doing what he said he's going to do. I mean, he's a guy you can't count out. He's just calm and steady.
If you think back on the tournament, I don't know of a really big fish, a 5+ that's come from this kind of water. You see what I'm saying? The big ones, the 5 to 7s, have come from out on the main lake.
I think so much of this lake is really hard to pattern because the banks continually change from flat to steep to points to cuts to just so much variation in what's there. I'm gonna keep going, but I kind of feel like I need to get back out to that main channel.
I am fishing shallow, power fishing, throwing top water baits, trying to keep an open mind and trying to expand my pattern and fish as much productive water and keep my bait wet as long as I can and try to catch as many fish as I can.
And there he was.
I think we might be a little negative on James's positivity, man. Look where he's sitting in the cup right now, and
I'm not harsh and as mellow. I'm not.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he's a chunker too. I mean, that's just the right kind.
It's just that I think the best fish I know of that's been caught in that kind of water right there is about a 4. If he needed a pound or 2, I'd be all in with where he's at. But Clint has just kind of, he thinks he needs 9 to 10 to win. He doesn't realize what's happened here.
That kind right there is what dreams are made of right there. Wow.
Clint Davis starting this morning, 10th place, has shot through the leaderboard, has unofficially the biggest bag of the entire tournament. Great day from Clint Davis.
2 bites here and 1 bite there makes the whole difference in this derby. It's without a doubt the toughest bass tournament I've ever fished. If you slip up, these guys will beat you and beat you badly. You've got to be on the top of your game, and you've got to be fired up and motivated. Every day you go out, practice daylight to dark, tournament from blast off until the last seconds of checking in. and fishing. Just go, go, go. That's the only way you can compete against these guys. Oh boy, hey. That's probably my last fish of the day. Thank you, Lake Ouachita. I got a call. It's time to go.
Our 10 anglers are headed in, and it's time to crown our next FLW Cup champion.
You've heard it from all our anglers throughout the week. You're gonna need a big bite to have a shot at this thing, and Clint Davis just pulled it off in a huge way. That earns him by far the Mercury moment of this tournament.
Yeah, Travis, the clip of that fish catch will be seen for many, many years to come.
And with that, it's time to head over to the most exciting weigh-in in professional fishing as we crown the 2018 FLW Cup champion.
All right, what's up, Hot Springs, Arkansas? Woo!
Kudos to each one of you guys for making it through a very hard year and a very hard-fought tournament, but what a tournament it's been.
Will we make history today and see the first two-time Forrest Wood Cup champion? Is there going to be a seasoned veteran to win his first Forrest Wood Cup, or will it be a rookie?
If you believe in your dreams, you can get on this stage and win this cup.
All right, man, you ready to get this weigh-in started? You snuck in by 1 ounce, but you're in. We've never had an angler ever to go from 10th place to first in the Forrest Wood Cup. How many do you have in the bag?
I got 5. Let's show these off.
Wow! A 5S limit. He finds the kickers. Heaviest bag of the tournament. 17 pounds, 13 ounces. You got the lead. Wow! He is the reigning 2017 Forrest Wood Cup champion. A 5S limit for Alabama's Justin Atkins.
As I was running down the lake, and people were all out there following us, and they were waving at me as I was running down the lake, and little kids were out there. I had people following me down the lake, man, I started crying, and I was like, this is all I've ever wanted.
That's awesome, dude.
And so to be right here on this stage, in front of a great crowd, it's an absolute blessing.
This is 4 top 10s in a row for Brandon Cobb. Number 2, good one.
Unfortunately, the other 3 are swimming around Lake Ouachita with horny toad legs in their mouth.
To make history and win the Forrest Wood Cup twice, you need 16 pounds, 15 ounces. So number 5 needs to be a kicker.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a giant, but I didn't catch one today. It was
He smashed some records at Kentucky Lake this year. He joined the Century Club.
This week on Lake Ouachita, it's a good one.
Number 5, he catches a kicker. And number 5 for the Oklahoma Pro, Zach Burge. How many is in the bag?
5.
No pressure, Clint. Wow! A 5S limit for James Negemeyer. And then there were 2 left. Here's number 3. 4 is a good one.
Number 5's in the back of a creek. It got off in some pads, so I just got 4.
All right, here we go. Either he's got a really big bag or he put a lot of water in that bag, Clint.
I hope it's full of water.
Wes Logan from Springville, Alabama, a rookie.
We'll start with the smallest one.
Number 1, it's a pretty good spot. 1 pound, 12 ounces for Wes Logan. Your Forrest Wood Cup champ is Clint Davis of Montevallo, Alabama. Wow! He weighs in the biggest bag of the tournament on Championship Sunday.
Congratulations to you, Clint. What a feat you have accomplished. Come from last to first this last day. It just proves that you should never give up, no matter what you're doing.
$300,000 richer. Who do we have with us?
This is my support group. They knew what I wanted to do for a living. They made sure 2 days a week they got me to the lake. They dropped me off in the summertime, make sure I got to go fishing. And that's, you know, right there at Lay Lake. That's where I learned how to do this. What I wanted doing, I learned at Lay Lake. I can't thank them enough.
Take your kids fishing, support them to the utmost. They'll make you proud.
The 2018 Forrest Wood Cup champion,